So we can fit that in on the 17th at 5 o'clock. That's fine. Yes, it was lucky because we nearly had a clash. Good job. Donald cancelled our usual Friday meet too. I think he was double booked. Okay, bye. Phew. My week is certainly filling up. I took a week off to have some time to myself, but it seems that time seems to be getting accounted for. All this staying at home, I thought I'd be able to lie back and chill. Some chance. My calendar seems fuller than ever. I had to use a planner for my home life. I usually only have one of those at the office. It's a carefully orchestrated operation. The morning started with our video conditioning class. There we were all up and ready for it at 9 o'clock. I even had to set my alarm for the same time as a work morning. Certainly woke me up anyway. I was really red-faced by the end of it. I thought, how hard could it be from the comfort of my own lounge? By the end of it, I was thinking, how wrong could I be? I was really out of puff and sweating like a trooper. It's a good job you can turn the camera off from this end. Normally that would have been me for the day in terms of exercise, but as you're limited to one outdoors excursion a day, I thought I'd better make the most of it and have half an hour on that treadmill I'd bought last year. It never before seen the light of day and hadn't really any other purpose than a flat surface to store boxes on, but now I've never been more grateful for it. I thought I might as well get it in now so that I only need to shower once today, although that depends if I run or walk later. You have to think carefully and make everything count. Hopefully this morning's yoga session will be a bit more relaxing and help to ease my aching muscles from earlier. I thought all this exercise might help to shift some of this middle-age spread, but it seems to be counteracted by all this extra baking I've been doing. I find it really hard to resist the cakes, and baking certainly helps to fill the time too. Today's schedule seems to be running away from me already. After yoga, I thought I'd do a bit on my new project of learning Arabic before the intermediate cooking class at 12 o'clock. I love following the tutor, and she gives you excellent tips of how to use your cupboard staples. It's really practical, and by the time it's finished, then lunch is ready for us all. This afternoon's baking demonstration will mean that we'll have some dessert for later, thankfully. After clearing up the lunch things, I've got knitting and DIY. Today it's how to fix a leak before baking, and then my guitar tutorial afterwards. That'll be good timing as we've got family band practice at 4:30, so hopefully I'll be securing those chords for our rehearsal. We're up against it really, as we're hoping to do a live stream to family and friends on Friday evening. We like to call it our family jam, but that's not to be confused with yesterday when we were actually doing jam making too, as a family. Katie and Philip turned up for the session with their instruments and we did laugh. We ended up having musical accompaniment whilst the fridge stewed in the pan. I'll try and get outside this evening before the quiz night we have with one of Katie's groups. Not sure what the theme is, but it was a great laugh making up her team name. We ended up going for the fundamentals, a bit of a wordplay there, as it shows we like a bit of fun, but we also take it seriously and appreciated it will be stretching our mind, the mental side. I think it's quite good, really, and I hasten to say it may have been me who came up with the idea, not wanting to sing my own praises, but I do think that it will be the best name, and the others will be slightly jealous they hadn't thought of anything quite so witty. I asked Katie and Philip to play Millionaire this afternoon to warm them up and get them in the mood for tonight. It'll be a bit of a mind training. I was really hoping to get on to revising those lists of facts I got from the Daily Mail. I have a hunch that aquatic bird life will come up. I'm not sure how long the quiz night is going to be tonight. I'm hoping it won't run into our family downtime between 9 and 10. It's our protected time when we play a game, watch something amusing, yet educational, listen to a range of music through the eras or sing in rounds. We try to rotate it so it doesn't feel too monotonous. I'd be reluctant to miss that. After that, it's usually off to bed, as I'm usually dead beat by the end of the day. The rest of the week is looking pretty busy too. We need to fit in our family film where we sit down and watch a classic together. Also, not to be confused with our family film making session where we are planning to make our own family-made versions of some of our favourite films. It has led to some of us playing many parts, and we've had fun doing some different voices. Our wardrobe for costumes has been limited, and we've had to improvise. For E.T., we had to use a 6-inch figurine that we still had from back in the 80s, and for Doctor Who, we had a picture of the TARDIS on an old pencil case that the camera focused on while we sang woo 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 in the background. When we get around to releasing them on the internet, we're fully prepared for them to be a sensation. I suppose this is what it's like to be a full-time YouTuber. It's amazing how much I've been learning this week. Not sure about Thursday's painting class, as I've not done any art since I was at school, and I didn't exactly excel at it then. It's one of those classes broadcast to the nation on Channel 4, so at least no one will see my end product. It says that we're supposed to be painting shells, under the assumption that these would be the kinds of things you'd find around the house. Now, I'm not sure about anyone else, but days of wandering on beaches collecting shells with the children are long past. It's a struggle to get them to be awake in time to have lunch together these days, so I don't naturally have a stock of them handy to paint. I've had to improvise a bit, and I'm using a few pasta shells. I hope it won't matter. So it's a good job that I managed to find my old Airfix paints and brushes from when I was a child. Yesterday we had adult ballet by video call. I've never done ballet before, but it was a thing to do, and I promised Katie I'd do it with her. Well, I didn't know what to expect, and the first thing was finding things we could use to help. Chairs, tables, wasn't too sure where we were going with this. The downside of this was it was done with our cameras on, so the teacher could see what we were doing. He gave out a load of instructions, and I was struggling to keep up. Didn't know if my foot was supposed to be forward, to the side, or to the back. I tied myself in knots by the end of it. Some of the younger ones, like Katie, were following no problem and with some grace. I think I can say I followed with disgrace. You know how it is when you have a picture of what it should be like, what you think you are doing, and then reality sets in and it's nothing like your mind's eye. I was trying to follow Katie, but was equally bamboozled. The chair and the table were supposed to be in place of the bar. I thought he meant a real bar, and I put my drink on it before Katie's foot knocked it over, which was not a great start. I thought it was something to grab hold of, and that really helped when coming out of my plie, as I could really haul myself up. I need to be told later it is simply to help your balance. I don't think I oozed grace, and the worst thing was that I could see myself on camera, meaning the others could too. Looking at some of the other adult beginners, though, I don't think I was the only one that was hardly the new Nureyev, but at least we were trying. It's hard keeping up with the terms. Plié, tendu. When he said fondue, I went to the kitchen for the chocolate and strawberries until I was told I was supposed to be bending. I suppose you get used to it. So, as you can see, the week is fairly filling up. I'm having to write in my planner things like eat, go outside, shopping and sleep, so I remember to do them. At the moment, it feels like I couldn't be busier. Next week, I'm supposed to be returning to work from home, of course, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to fit it in around all these new commitments. Funnily enough, having to be apart from everyone has made me join in with more things and meet more people than ever before. I hope we carry on when everything settles down again. Otherwise, I'm going to miss seeing all my new friends.